Hello everyone. I was asked to do a video on polygamy, and so I looked up the word polygamy, and I came across several things here. One is polygamy is the practice of having more than one spouse. Polygyny is a specific practice of one man taking more than one wife. Polygyny. Okay, that's what I said. It is a common marriage pattern in some parts of the world. But that's interesting because they said polygyny, NY, is a practice of one man taking more than one wife. Because when you look at polygamy, you think of men. Has become one-sided. Within the context of the promotion of this divide and conquer strategy, I understand. It has become one-sided, used against men in order to work against women. So this isn't really an anti-men thing. It's more of an anti-human thing. Polygamy is the use of, is going overboard. You don't need to eat 10 cookies to be full, to be satisfied, but you ate it anyway. And you have to feel the effects. You don't need 10 degrees to do well in life, but yet you went to school and you got 10 degrees. What are the costs? The costs are, well, you went to school and you wasted your time, and now you shorten your lifespan, and you didn't fulfill what you came here to do. And so therefore another lifetime is required to learn the lessons that you were here to learn, or rather to cleanse your system of the negatives that you've put into your system. What is done through polygamy is basically playing one culture against another culture. Let's take a look. Polygamy in Africa. The polygamy has look at the word the. I'll read it again. The polygamy has existed all over the African continent thanks to the fact that it represents an aspect of their culture and religion. These types of marriages have been more present in the whole history of Africa like no other continent in the world. One of the reasons why this has happened is because the African societies have managed to see that children were a form of wealth, and this way a family with more children was considered to be more powerful. Under these circumstances, the polygamy in Africa was considered to be part of the way you could build an empire. Okay, first of all, grammatically speaking, this word the, this article, part of speech, the, when I first looked at it, I was thinking, why are they using the word the? Not just polygamy has existed. Then I started thinking, maybe they're doing it on purpose. It's not necessarily a grammatical error. Maybe they're doing it on purpose because the is very specific in the English language. The article the is very specific, denoting specificity of a group or a singularity. The African society, there's only one African society. Why do you need to put the word the? Why are you being superfluous? So all this it's interesting. Somebody asked me to do somebody asked me why I haven't done a video on the weaponization of language. Well, I guess I'll be doing it now with this video. Language is filled with violence, so that when we use these words unconsciously, we are working against ourselves. If you think of Here's an example. She's on fire. Our love is on fire. What do you mean our love is on fire? Being on fire? That can't be a good thing. When you're on fire, you're burning. Or maybe perhaps another example is, I've fallen for you. Fallen from you? What do you mean fallen from you? Am I descending into hell? Falling into love. So these are the ways in which things, mechanisms, tools that are being used against us. And polygamy is just another divide and conquer strategy. So the cabal has purposely been working against all nations, and Africa in terms of polygamy is one which has been compromised. If so, now did I? No, I didn't talk about it. The Maury Show. The Maury Show is a show that tries to bring couples together, at least for the sake of the children. Men who sleep with multiple women, and women who sleep with multiple men, and they don't know, they get pregnant, well, the women get pregnant, and don't know who the father, or mostly who the father is. And in such a case, I think it's the same as what they're promoting in Africa. In polygamy, they make it sound like as if it's something akin to official marriage. Let's see if there's a definition here. Well, you can look it up yourself, but that's how it's set up. The bias is promoted purposely. People think that these things can't happen because it's so big. Well, aren't companies big? You know, you and I may not be able to do it. Okay, let's see. I found something else. Okay, so what else did I find on polygamy? Polygamy is a practice of having. Okay, we read that already. Going down here, polygamy. Second paragraph, polygamy became a significant social and political issue in the United States in 1852 when the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saint, S-A-I-N-T-S, parentheses, excuse me, LDS Church made it known that a form of the practice called plural marriage was part of its doctrine. Opposition to the practice by the United States government resulted in an intense legal conflict and culminated in LDS Church President Wilford Woodruff announcing the church's official abandonment of the practice on September 25, 1890. However, breakaway Mormon fundamentalist groups living mostly in the western United States, Canada, and Mexico still practice plural marriage. It's all a propaganda. It's the manufacturing of ideology. So the mainstream media produces all these biases and they make it sound like they're just unbiased and just showing what's out there, but when in fact they're trying to promote certain chaos in the system. The polygamy may seem to be attractive to some, let's say most men, but it is not. It may also seem attractive to most women, but it is not. Let me summarize, put it into a few sentences, or at least, let's just do 2 sentences, what polygamy really is. Polygamy is selfishness. It is selfishness that one doesn't need, that hurts one's system. Okay, so you have your two sentences. So basically, if you're being selfish and you have a lot more than you necessarily need, then that comes back to bite you. I'm talking beyond setting yourself up for the legacy. Okay, if you acquire land and you're setting yourself up for your kids, I'm talking about polygamy. I'm talking about having more than one woman. I'm talking about having more than one husband or girlfriend. Let's focus it here. So don't. If you have more than what you need in terms of women, in terms of men, and you're bound to repeat the process of reincarnation, of being trapped, because it's not only that you don't need it, you're putting something in your system. Okay, fine. You may think about, okay, having more than one possibility, but don't sleep with all those possibilities. You're allowed to have relationships, like, fraternal relationships, or what's the word? I forgot the word. Just in case one doesn't pan out. That's intelligent, that's wise, but the idea of having more than one wife or having more than one, maybe because I'm a guy, I keep saying wife, one husband is something that is definitely a trap. And that's what the system is exploiting. If you look at the Maury show, and I may be repeating myself here, and I had kombucha, and you have to excuse me ahead of time. And by the way, I'm making more progress in terms of health, so I'm happy. Yesterday, something happened. I'm off topic here, but I'll just talk about it now. Something happened that hasn't happened before. After 24 hours of not eating or drinking, I started making a salad. I'm a teacher. It's the summer, and I've been pretty much working on my project in the backyard, building a shed and to do my business. And, weeding the garden from a mother who is under quarantine in Togo right now. And so yesterday, I had the force feeling of going ahead and eating some food, feeding the beast inside. And then I was calm and I asked myself, why are you going to eat? Why are you going to eat when you're not hungry? So I decided to proceed with what I was working on, applying for my life insurance, applying for my life insurance license, and doing things that I had set out to do. Okay, in any case, I was happy that I was able to not eat at all and just have a glass of kombucha, no sugar whatsoever, very, very vinegary. And moving forward, polygamy. So polygamy is when you have too much in your system. Excuse me. I think the kombucha is having an effect. Too much. When you have too much, when you have too many women, when you have too many men, and you don't need it because they can't give you too much. You can't give you enough of what you think you want. It's just being short-sighted. And the way polygamy is being used is just atrocious. It's being used against men. It's way. Let's speak to the transgender agenda. I think it's all part of this. Wait, I saw a definition here. I'm not seeing it. But in any case, it is. I think it connects, and I was hoping to read the definition. So, darn it. Let me pause this for a second. So I couldn't find it, but I'm going to continue and summarize here because I think I'm almost done here. So polygamy is just basically working against one, using divide and conquer one culture against another, and unfortunately, it's having a huge effect. I see people falling for it, men cheating against women, women cheating against men and having more than one partner, and as a result getting diseases. And in terms of culture, Africa is, I just think that, like, if you take the show like the Maury show, as I explained earlier, and you look at people cheating on their partners, and you look at Africa, and most people don't go through official marriages. They do traditional, or they just have a partner they're with. And you don't need a piece of paper. Marriage is just a piece of paper anyway. So how do you define a spouse? So you're defining spouse loosely, because that's how the system defines it's official marriage. So most people, so it's the same whether it's in the West, if it's done incorrectly, or done incorrectly in the West, and done incorrectly in other continents, the same crap. So they're pushing Africa as like the main continent that's like involved in polygamy, when that's not the case. When I was growing up, what I saw was people just not living correctly, or whether they're putting spells on each other, or I didn't see this. I didn't know polygamy, and it wasn't until I came to America where I saw it being promoted against Arabs, and it's a mess. But if you go to Africa, I mean, it's not what it seems here. It's just basically a propaganda, fake news being promoted over and over again, people falling for it, and it seems to be working against men, but in actuality, it aims to destroy women, because if you look at the transgender agenda, most officials, like presidents, have been women, but they're not really women. They're demonic entities hiding behind one gender. And if you look at if you look at industries, the business industries, does that make any sense? If you look at industries, if you look at the business world, excuse me, that's what I meant to say. The so-called top people of industries are all demonic entities, women pretending to be men, and then if you look at it in terms of women, they're not really women to begin with. They're the demonic dark entities hiding behind that gender. This is a topic that's very, I guess, it's very hot. I think it's sensitive, but I got into it in college. I got into it in college in some shape or form. Anyway, let me see if I have a video here. I know I loaded a video that wasn't working. Let's play some music. Okay, hopefully it's working now.
The news about polygamy and whether a man can live with more than one wife. To be clear, it's absolutely illegal in this country to have a marriage license with more than one person at one time. But a big court decision coming out of Utah seems to say it's okay if you just skip the official piece of paper. ABC's Cecilia Vega shows us the issue that has everyone arguing.
One husband, 4 wives, 17 children. We know them as reality TV stars on the hit show Sister Wives.
I need flowers for My wives.
Today,
See the look
they
on her
are
face?
unlikely legal crusaders in a fight over the fate of polygamy.
I think that anybody should be able to organize their family according to how they choose. Almighty Father, I'm grateful for thy blessings.
It is an epic court battle. Cody Brown and Mary, Janelle, Robin, and Christine against the state of Utah. They maintain theirs is a healthy lifestyle.
I just wanted to show.
Okay. It is not a healthy lifestyle. The system is promoting this on purpose. It's fabrication. The system aims to destroy traditional marriages, traditional families, traditional... You don't need marriage. You don't need marriage. But if you choose to marry someone, they want to destroy that. This is the reason why I was not married for a long time, because I saw in America, before I was incarnated, that past lives being into women was not the way to return to source. This is a system of fraud, a fraudulent system to destroy anything that's decent in society. I don't know what the energy came from. Maybe there's a boost in my system all of a sudden because the kombucha has died down. This is ridiculous. Let's play some more.
Tell people that we're normal. But that is not how authorities in Utah see it, threatening the Browns with prosecution after they flaunted their plural family.
Okay, they're making this seem to be something that America does not want. That the system, the cabal does not want. But this is precisely what's going to happen. They're going to just keep playing it, the struggles, the biases, and eventually allow people to have polygamous relationships. That has already happened in Africa. If you get married in Africa, well, at least West Africa, well, at least in Togo, you're allowed to choose, which is, it's the fact that you have choices to have a, choose what you want is good. But if you stupidly choose the right to be married to more than one person, that's just setting yourself up for failure in future incarnations. For me, what I'm saying is, I chose, if I marry you and I have these assets before we came into marriage, I don't want to be sabotaged later and you taking everything. No. So in that aspect, what I had before coming in, I don't want to be robbed of that. So that aspect of it, I like that in the African culture. But what you better believe there are frequencies already set where having more than one wife is okay. Where you can screw animals, where you can eat anything you want, including humans and extraterrestrials. Pretty much everything goes. The chaos is the way, man. This is what the polygamous agenda is about. It's an agenda. It's part of the scheme. Because it's not enough to have the polygamous agenda, the 5G agenda. It's not enough to have humans engineered from natives and have all these extraterrestrials. You don't think extraterrestrials are real? Extraterrestrials. Man, it's all bullshit. Polygamy, stay away from it. Stay away from it. It's a danger that is quite serious. I hope I've said everything. But did I miss anything? Let me think. Well, if I missed anything, you'll let me know. Alright, let me see. Let me summarize it just in case I missed anything. Cultures are being used against each other. Africa versus America, or the West. how, whatever. Let's see what else. Utah, one state against the United States. Utah against the rest of the United States of America. Men being used against women. Patriarchy. Patriarchy. The West is a patriarchy bullshit. It's a demonic entity. Multi-entity. So basically, it's divide and conquer. Okay, I think I did what I was supposed to do. And thank you for recommending that I do a video on polygamy.